Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So I am back with another best and worst cruise staterooms, and I am finally getting around to doing the Icon of the Seas. So excited. We are already booked for her for March of 2024. She is ready to set sail, I believe, January, I think it's like January 17th, 2024. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's January 2024. We are sailing on her in March. Very excited. We are actually booked on a guarantee because yeah, it was a lot cheaper. I think we saved almost $2,000 by booking a guarantee. And so we did not do the choose your stateroom, but you know, I kind of know where we could end up and where the worst places we could end up, and it's still going to be better than being at home. But we're going to talk about now, what if you've watched any of my videos before, I do the entire ship. However, the Icon, she's a big one. So she's a big girl. So we're going to split her into two videos. So today's video will be part one, and this is going to be the best and worst cruise suites on the Icon of the Seas. And then the next video will be the best and worst cruise staterooms, which will cover balcony and below. So today we're going to be covering these suites, which will go from, let's see, the Royal Loft Suite all the way to the Junior Suites. And there's so many different types of suites on this ship. There's a family suite, there's a panoramic suite, there's a corner suite. There's just a lot of suites. So we're gonna go over all the suites in today's video. And if you've watched any of my other videos, what I do is I kind of go through each category all the way from the top to the bottom, and I kind of go over each category. So if you know you are just interested in a junior suite, you can just kind of go down into the description box, click the link or the timestamp that says junior suite, and that will bring you probably to the end of the video to get to the junior suite where I talk about those. But you know, probably not going to spend too much on the time on the staterooms that only have one or two in each category, because there's not much to talk about as far as location, because there's one or two, there's not much to choose, and you're probably not watching this video. So this video will probably be one of the least watched, because I don't think the suite portions usually get a lot of views. However, we're going to go over them anyway. And usually the sunset suites, or I'm sorry, the junior suites do get a lot of views. So we'll see how many people are interested. And I'll kind of give you my tips. Now, obviously, no one has sailed on her, so I don't know. This is kind of me knowing the layouts of Royal Caribbean ships, knowing the things that I like, what I like to be close to. That's kind of just giving you my opinion, and then also looking to see, this looks like this could be a special stateroom over here. Now, I do have a video called 10 things to look for in a cruise stateroom, or picking your best. I forgot what I called it, but it's going to be up in this corner here. And it's just 10 things to consider when you're picking your best stateroom. Because I always say your best stateroom is not going to be everybody's best stateroom. And if you go on a Facebook group and you say, I'm about to book a junior suite on the Icon of the Seas, which is the best one, everybody's going to give you a different answer, because everybody's wants and needs are going to be different. So your wants and needs are different from mine. I'll give you my things that I consider. I like being near Adventure Ocean. I like being near an elevator. So those are things that I like, but maybe that's not important to you. Maybe you want to be midship. Maybe you want to be in the aft. Really just depends. So that video kind of goes over 10 things to consider when choosing your best stateroom. And you know, that will be very helpful. And then also say, watch this, because this will kind of give you some tips as well, specifically with cabin specific, you know, numbers. And I didn't go over the stats of the Icon. She's ready to set sail in January of 2024. She's almost 251,000 tons. And she is going to have 2,805 cabins, a crew of 2,350, and expected passengers are going to be 5,600 to 10 to 7,293. She's going to have a water park. She's going to have a lot. I am so excited for this cruise. I don't even know if we're going to get off the ship. Like, we'll get off at Coco Cay, but when we go to, I think we go to St. Kitts and St. Thomas. I don't think we're going to get off at St. Thomas. Maybe we'll get off at St. Kitts, but we're going to be spending a lot of time on this ship. So very excited. But let's go ahead and get into the best and worst cruise suites on the Icon of the Seas. And here I am on cruisedeckplans.com. You can also go to cruisestateroom.com, and I'm going to go down and go to Royal Caribbean and then go to Icon of the Seas, which will bring us to the deck plan. And you can see here, obviously, I haven't sailed on it yet. The ship hasn't sailed yet. Going to be just making some best guesses, making my recommendations based on my experience and my just personal preference, and going through there. And we're going to be talking about suites today. So we're going to start with the Royal Loft Suite. Now, the Royal Loft Suite is going to be easy because there's only one of them, and it is on deck 17. It's going to be right here. It's going to have a wraparound balcony, sleeps up to 6, 1,482 square feet, a balcony of 705 square feet. It's on deck 17, and then also is 2 stories and goes to deck 18. So going to be an amazing stateroom no matter what. And then right next to those are the Icon Loft Suites. There's 7 of them. They sleep up to 4. Now, one of them is a handicapped accessible, 17018. So it does look like it's going to be a little bit larger to accommodate for that. The other ones, I would say, the balcony, you will see here, the balconies range from, I think it's 151 square feet to 183 square feet. So I would think that the ones 20 and then 42 and 44 are the ones that are going to have a little bit of a larger balcony. I think any one of the 7 is going to be amazing, but if you are trying to get a little bit of extra balcony space, you may want to try for one of those 3. Moving down to deck 8, we're going to go to the family townhouse. Again, only one. It's the ultimate family townhouse. This is replacing the ultimate family suite, I think it is, on the Oasis. Sleeps up to 8. There's only one cabin. Now, unlike on the Oasis where it's in the middle of the ship at the top, this one's on the aft. You'll see right here. So it is going to be 3 decks instead of 2. And it has a backyard and a private entrance to Surfside. You can kind of see it right here. Then 2nd and 3rd levels include private balconies. You see right here. And they are on decks 7, 8, and 9. And you can actually enter through deck 7 or 8. So 7 being where the Surfside is. So this looks absolutely incredible. There's 2 bedrooms, sleeps up to 8, 1,772 square feet. Absolutely would, kill to stay here. It looks incredible. Probably never will. But again, if you are booking this stateroom, you probably aren't watching this video. Now we're going to go over the owner suite. There's 8 of them. They sleep up to 4, 658 square feet with a balcony of 190 square feet. And they are on decks 16 and 17. So they are the 4 here. So you'll see the 4 on 16 and on 17. And honestly, they look to all be identical, same size, same balcony. So here's where I would suggest. If you are a couple or an adult only in this stateroom and you're planning on spending a lot of time at Cloud 17. Cloud 17, you see the lime and coconut. This is the adults cruise area, and you'll see right here, Cloud 17, adults only, 18 and older. If you're planning on spending a lot of time here, then maybe you want to choose the ones on deck 17. However, if you're a family, if we were to book one of these, we would probably choose the one on 16 because we do have a child that's going to be spending a lot of time in Surfside. And the entrance to Coastal Kitchen, from what I can read and what I've read, is that it is on deck 16. So even though it looks to be 2 stories, the entrance is on deck 16. So it would just be very easy to go straight to Coastal Kitchen every morning, lunch, dinner, whatever, straight on the same. Now, one flight isn't going to kill you, but it's nice to not have to take an elevator or stairs and just be right there, especially if you're just going to be grabbing a cup of coffee. So other than that, I think they're all pretty much the same. And then obviously on deck 16 here, you'll see the Chill Island area. So you'll see Chill Island, you'll have Crown's Edge, Adrenaline Peak, you've got Base Camp. So you have a lot of more activities here. So again, if you have kids, then definitely I think 16 is a better fit. And if you're adults only, then maybe deck 17. You have the Infinite Grand Suite. This is a new category IG. It sleeps up to 4 and there's 8 cabins. Cabin is 431 square feet with a balcony of 102 square feet. So you can see here, it has the infinite balcony that can extend the interior living room space. So you'll see here, split compartment bath, living same room features sofa that converts to a double bed and a private dining space. So that is the Infinite Grand Suite. And if you see here, there are 8 of them, and 6 of them are on deck 9. You'll see right here. So on deck 9, very central, midship. You're not close to either elevator, but you're also very midship. It's going to be a very big ship, so you're going to be very, very central. The other 2 are on deck 17, so you'll see them right here. And obviously you're close to coastal kitchen. So again, if you are adults only going to be spending a lot of time in cloud 17, then 17 would probably be great. Honestly, and even if we were booking this, I think I would probably choose deck 17 just because it would be so close to coastal kitchen, which we would probably utilize quite a bit. And you're also very close to these elevators. And I like being close to any sort of elevator rather than midship. Personal preference, but that's what I prefer. So I think I would probably choose one of the 2 on deck 17. But again, 9 I think is also great midship. You're going to be close to everything. So you really can't go wrong with any of these 8 staterooms. Next up, we have the Grand Suite. This is the same size stateroom as the Infinite Grand Suite, but you're not going to have that infinite balcony. You're going to have a regular balcony. So you'll see here, it is 431 square feet, and there's 8 of them, and they're all on deck 16. So you'll see here's like a little mock-up of it. So a very traditional type stateroom with a traditional balcony. And it is, again, like I said, on deck 16, which very convenient, very close to the elevators, close to coastal kitchen. And just like I said with the other staterooms, it appears that 20, 22, 42, and 44 are going to have a little bit of a larger balcony. So we'll see here if they have any information regarding the balcony, and it doesn't have any information as far as the balcony, but it appears that they might be a little bit larger. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. I think you can't go wrong with any of the 8, but I would probably choose 20 or 42, or maybe 44 because you'd be right on the corner. I don't know about 22 because I don't know how private this is going to be right here. I would assume it's going to be private, but I don't know. But I think, again, these are, you can't go wrong with any of them. But I would probably go for either 44, then 42, or 20. Next up, we have the Panoramic Suite. This is category VP. You'll see here it has panoramic views. It's located within the Aquadome, and it has a full bathroom with a tub, seating area with a sofa, no balcony. Sleeps up to 4, and the living area goes between 370 square feet to 440 square feet. Now, honestly, I love this because balconies still make me nervous with a child, even though he's almost 8. I love having like the feel of a balcony, but not actually having the balcony. And we don't use the balcony as much. Some people really use it. They would not like this, but I think this would be amazing. So there are decks 16 and 17. And like I said, there's a pretty big difference. 70 square feet is a pretty big difference between them. So it's kind of hard to see which ones might be a little bit larger. So you'll see here, I think 16004 and 16026 are going to be the largest. Those to me appear to be the largest, with 16006 and 16028 to be the next. And then the ones 002 and 024. Then we're going to go up to deck 17. And it's really hard to tell. These look like they could be a little bit longer, but they also are seem to be bigger. So I personally would probably pick the ones on 16. I would try to get 004 or 026. That would be my preference. And then 006 and 028. This will be one that we'll have to really wait to see when the ship comes out. I will probably put notes in the description box once this comes out, or pin a comment with updates as we see information. But again, I think the ones on deck 16 appear to me to be a little bit larger. With that said, again, I also like having being on the same deck as Coastal Kitchen. I think that's just really convenient. Even though it's only one deck up, being on the same deck as Coastal Kitchen to me would be very convenient. Next up is the corner suite. There's 9 of them. They sleep up to 4. Now the staterooms here, you see they're on decks 8 through 12. However, the cabin sizes range again from 380 to 440 square feet, and the balcony ranges from 280 to 360. So 60 square feet within the stateroom and up to 80 square feet of the balcony. So again, we don't know exactly which ones are going to be larger. We're just kind of basing it on the deck plans and what it looks. Now these are all on the aft, you'll see. So here's deck 8. So right here, keep in mind also that these are going to be, even though they're going to be amazing, they're going to be a very long walk to the elevator. So just keep that in mind right there. But that is deck 8, you'll see here. Now deck 9, there's also only one. Now deck 9 does seem to be a little bit smaller. So it does seem to be smaller. I would assume that maybe these two connect. I don't know, but I would assume that these maybe connect. But that is deck 9. And then you go to deck 10. And we have 2. So we'll have deck 10, one here and on either side. This one appears to be, it looks like 8 of these 4 is going to be the largest between the 4 that we've looked so far. Just because it has a little bit of extra space. Then we're going to go to deck 11. Again, 11 appears to be just a little bit larger than deck 10. It seems to be a little bit longer. Again, this is just a guess on my part. So that would mean it's probably larger and has a larger balcony. And then deck 12, the same thing. So deck 12, I think deck 12, these outer ones are going to be the largest ones. That's that's my guess. With these ones in the inner are going to be just to be a little bit smaller. I don't know how much I would like these. I mean, I think I would love them, but I don't know if I would prefer, I think I would prefer the ones on the outside. So you can kind of see the gauge here of these pictures. But it looks like 12s, the ones on deck 12 on the outer are going to be the largest, followed by the ones on 11. So that's how I would do it. Again, I think any of these 9 are going to be amazing, but I would personally try and get to the ones on deck 12 and then 11, with probably being the ones on deck 12 in the inner being my last choice, but again, still not a bad choice. Next up, we're going to look at the family suites. So there are 42 of these staterooms. They sleep up to 4. This is a new category. These are the Surfside family suites. They have internal views of the Surfside neighborhood. There's a kids nook with a pull-out sofa. You'll see it right here. Split bathrooms, a private balcony, 1.5 bedrooms, and 1 bedroom with a convertible bedroom with a partition. There is 1 accessible suite, I believe. They are 269 square feet with a balcony of 53 square feet. So I think these are amazing. They look absolutely incredible, and they are on decks 9, 10, and 11. And they all look to be the same size. So you're not going to get any like larger staterooms. These all look to be the same size. You'll see them right here, 9, 10, and 11. And they're all pretty much the same space. So here's what I would say. So first off, there is the handicapped accessible. There's only 1, 11, 293. I personally would try and get as close to the elevator bank as possible. That's a personal preference. I like being very, very close to the elevator. And if you were to get into 11,693, very close to the elevator. Then you've got deck 10, same thing. I would try and choose one of those. And then deck 9. Of the 3 decks, 9, 10, or 11, my personal preference would be deck 9. Reason being, it's the closest to a passenger or a public deck. So right here, you would just go down one set of staircases or an elevator, and you have Central Park. So if I wanted to grab coffee in the morning, just go down flight of stairs and then go to Park Cafe,
You're close to Izumi, Chops Grill. You're just close to Central Park. So very, very convenient. So that's personally, I would choose deck 9 if I had my choice, and I would try and get 9293 or 9693. However, if let's say the only one that was available was 9317, but then if I went to deck 11 and 11693 was available, I would choose this one because I would choose the one on deck 11 because it's just closer to the elevator. So you just have to kind of really think about your preferences, what's convenient for you, where are you spending your time. But personally for me, I would choose deck 9, but preference would go to as close to the elevator as I could. Next up is the Sunset Suite. There's only 6 of them, category SS, again, a new category for Icon of the Seas. Floor to ceiling windows, a full bathroom with tub and 2 sinks, living area with a sofa bed that converts to a double bed, a balcony area with seating, and then the living area is 390 square feet, and the balcony area varies between 96 and 120 square feet. These are all on the aft. There are 2 on deck 9 and 4 on deck 11. So we'll look at the 2 on deck 9. So you have 9354. I think this is a really great one. This one, I would probably prefer, this would probably be my last choice right here, 9748. Not that it's a bad choice, but it would probably be my last choice just because I love the aft. Now, if you don't like the aft, maybe, you would choose this one. Then you're going to go to deck 11. And deck 11, I think I would probably choose, I think the best ones and the ones with the largest balcony, I think are going to be these ones in the interior. 11356 and 11756. I think they're just going to be a little bit larger. And the staterooms look to maybe be a little bit larger, but I'm not really sure because this one has a little bit of an angle and this one opens up. So really don't know until we actually see them. But again, I think you're not going to have a bad stateroom. But if I were to choose, I think my first preferences would be these 2 here, then these 2, and then I would probably go to deck 9 with this one, or 9748 being my last choice. Now we're going to move on to the junior suite category. And within the Icon class, you're going to have 3 different junior suite categories: the regular junior suite, a sky junior suite, and the sunset junior suite. So we're going to start with the sunset junior suite. They're all on deck 10. And you'll see here the sunset junior suite ceiling height is 7.5 feet. And then the balcony size ranges from 115 to 130 square feet. So it's a little bit of a difference, not a huge difference, but you'll see here they're all on the end. So again, I would probably go for the ones in the inner corner, 10356, 10756 with 10354 and 10754. I think these are going to be the ones with the smaller balcony. Not going to be a lot, but that's my guess is that these in the ones in the center of the ship will be a little bit larger. So those would be my choice for the sunset junior suite. And we'll just kind of look here and you'll see that's a little mock-up of the sunset junior suite. Next, we're going to go to the Sky Junior Suite. These are on decks 16 and 17, and you'll see here the mock-up. This is by the Coastal Kitchen again, so it has all the information here. So it looks like these are going to be about the same size. So we're going to go to deck 16 and look for the junior suite, which is going to be right here. So you've got 2 that are handicapped accessible. So those are definitely going to be a little bit larger to accommodate for that. You'll see them here. And then you have 16008 and 16030, which appears to maybe have a little bit of a larger balcony. And then we're going to go to deck 17, and these all look to be the same size. Again, going back to it, if you're going to be spending a lot of time at Cloud 17, then maybe choose the ones on deck 17. However, if it were me, I would probably choose 16008 or 16030 to be on the same deck as Coastal Kitchen. And finally, we're going to go to the regular junior suite category, and these are on decks 9, 10, and 11. And these are interesting because on the Icon class, these are all forward. So this is all forward part of the ship. So here are the forward elevators, and you'll see here. So here's deck 9. So again, I would absolutely my preference is going to be as close to the elevators as possible. So before I choose which deck, it's going to be which one has the ones that are closest to the elevator. Now, if it's one, I prefer deck 9, but if I'm on deck 11 and this one's available, but on deck 9, the one, number 2 is available, then I would choose this one. But it's a matter of if these were available, and then on 11, you have some closer to here, I'm going to go to the ones that are closest to the elevators. So you'll see here, I think they're going to be great. I don't think you're going to go wrong with any of them. You have 9, 10, and 11. Going back to deck 9, that would probably be my preference just because one deck down is going to be Central Park. So you'll use these elevators or staircase and you'll be right close to Central Park, which I love. However, if you are someone that spends a lot of time in the spa, let's say you got the thermal spa pass for the week, deck 12, one flight up is the Vitality Spa. So then you might want to be on deck 11 because then you could be very, very close to the spa. Now, deck 9 is not going to be that far either. Walking up one flight of stairs as opposed to walking up 3 flights of stairs is a big difference. So I would choose, I think it just depends on, and then deck 10 is right in the center. But I think any of these were going to be great. But again, I would try and pick something closer to the elevator. And there you have it. Those are my best and worst cruise suites on the Icon of the Seas.
Okay, so there you have it. Those are my best and worst cruise suites on the Icon of the Seas. I will be back with part 2 of this video covering the balcony and below on the Icon of the Seas, probably in the next day or 2. So look out for that video. And if you're watching this later on, there is a part 2 for the lower level staterooms. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.